You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Battle of the Atom. This is your weekly X-Men podcast where we rank every story from A to Z.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Zach. And Adam, I have to ask you something.
Oh, sure.
You ever sit around and think, hey, maybe comics are bad? You ever read old comics and like, actually, it's possible that this art form, it doesn't even have to be old comics. New comics are still bad too.
I was going to say it's kind of often the other way around. Like oftentimes I read an older comic and I'm like, this kind of rocks. This slaps.
You're not reading enough bad old comics. I promise you.
I mean, trust me, throughout the history of the form, there is lots of bad comics, as this show attests.
There's hundreds of issues of Alpha Flight out there.
Hey, did you hear that someone discovered a lost inventory issue of Alpha Flight via the auctions on mycomicshop.com?
So I am in conflict right now. On one, there are two wolves inside me, and this story convention is going great. No, there one wolf inside of me is a hatred for Alpha Flight, and the other wolf inside of me is a love for lost ephemeral media from comics.
You're going through the same roller coaster that I was, but apparently there was an original splash page posted to the auction site, and it is from a fully written and drawn out issue of Alpha Flight. It was confirmed by the author.
Who was the author? What era of Alpha Flight?
Carl somebody I was not familiar with. No.
Kiesel?
No.
We're running out of Carls.
We did. There was a quick write up about this on Comics XF if anybody wants to check it out. But I was like, where can we track down the rest of this issue? I don't know. Anyway, I totally just
talking about Alpha Flight this week.
Lots of bad comics is where you were going. Where do you want to take that?
I'm just saying. And one of the things that there were a lot of was bad X-Men comics, specifically from the beginning of X-Men until a young, plucky Christopher Claremont was like, well, what about these rascally, uncanny mutants?
Well, I believe you're speaking to the fact that by the time X-Men got to 65, they were kind of under the impression that sales were terrible, even though that may or may not have been correct. And
the legend goes that sales were generally pretty poor. However, the Steranko and Neil Adams stuff started to push that in the other direction. However, because of the delay in getting sales data from newsstands, they made a decision, even though anecdotally it sounds like that the sales were actually ticking in a more positive direction with the change.
Yeah.
However, X-Men went into reprints for about 5 years, and no one knew what to do with them. The X-Men were like, the Guardians of the Galaxy. How
now I do.
You know how the Guardians of the Galaxy exist, but like Marvel doesn't know how to make a comic about them.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they do, but
do they?
I mean, it depends. It seemed like there was a fun idea this year for a new series, but then I think they canceled it already. So.
No, it came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, but I think they already announced that it was going to be like a mini instead of an ongoing. Well, after, what I mean.
Again, here's all I'm going to say. Y'all, you ain't going to get the Marvel cosmic stuff. Nova, there's the same amount of people who really love Alpha Flight and are mad at me are also going to be mad about this. And this is not the most mad you're going to be at me in this episode. Nova ain't getting over, folks. Nova is going to be a C tier guy, no matter how many times you tell me, but Annihilation was so good. I read it. It's okay. It's fine. You think I'm going to read New Warriors? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're getting
I
away
actually
from
probably would really enjoy New Warriors. It's like the opposite of Alpha Flight. I'd probably really dig it. I'm just
it
not
is
going
90s
to.
Fabes. Like you might want to check it out. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I kind of think I'd dig New Warriors, but it's the principle of it.
Sure. But we're getting away from the idea that there was this like period of time
It's a period of time.
where Marvel didn't know what was going on with the X-Men, and that is what our episode focuses on today. Why are we talking about post-Silver Age, pre-giant size X-Men comics today?
Well, that's a great question. That comes to us, luckily, from our beautiful patrons on patreon.com. This comes from Patreon supporter Brendan McVeigh. Brendan went over to patreon.com/Battle of the Atom, reached deep down into their hearts and pocketbooks, and tossed a couple of coins into our coffers to talk about these 70s X-Men comics that aren't from X-Men.
It's true.
So they had no idea what to do with the X-Men. They put Beast on a team. They figured out what to do with Beast. And they were like, make him an Avenger. He's fun.
Yeah, well, Beast, immediately goes off to like his little science project.
He has his little science project. And at the same time, Angel also has they try and make Angel work in some backups, and they can't spin him out.
Yeah, but the general like focus is that the X-Men are kind of in seclusion, and really the character that is the through line through most of this is actually Magneto, who's going to come up in a couple of these stories. So
because the thing about Magneto is that he's a Jack Kirby design and he has a Jack Kirby hat. So they're like, yes, let's use this generic bad guy with no distinct through line or anything going on with him. And that's where we find ourselves in our first issue today. And if you would like to suggest insane issues like this, you can go over to patreon.com. You can do that at the $5 a month level. You get to make your own suggestion, just like Brendan McVeigh did. Like Brendan suggested that we talk about things like Avengers 10 or 110 and 111. And now Magneto with two besides them.
Wait a minute. I thought we were going to talk about the Spidey story first.
Wait.
Yeah, remember before we started, I was like, hey, we should do
had a whole conversation. We're not doing Avengers yet. We're doing Spider-Man. That's on me. We're doing Marvel Team Up number 4.
Listen,
the Mark of the Mutants.
Here's why I think this is interesting, and then why I think we should do these in chronological order is because the X-Men were literally just not in publication for a solid 2 years until Marvel Team Up comes out, and it's Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Well, you say not in publication. They just weren't in new publication. You could still buy a new X-Men comic. It was just an old X-Men comic.
Yeah, it was like a reprint. And this issue, which features the X-Men like attacking Spider-Man from a rooftop, has this little banner with an arrow that says they're back to the X-Men. They're back in all new, all great action. I'm not sure if that's really the case because the majority of this issue is a different kind of time, Zach. What do you know what time it is?
Buddy, you know it's Morbin time. I had forgot that this was a Morbin time issue. This is by Gary Conway with Gil Kane on pencils. And brother, this is actually the second part of a 2-part Marvel Team Up story. Where in the first part, Spider-Man and the Human Torch fought Morbius for the second time. And Spider-Man gets very concerned that he's going to grow many arms again.
Yeah, because he's already been cured of having spider arms.
He morbed too hard a couple of years back, and now he's done morbing.
Yep. But Morbius is also looking to cure himself, so he kidnaps a scientist. And this scientist is also because Professor Xavier is part of the scientific community.
Talking about Hans Jorgensen?
Yeah, apparently Professor X knows Hans Jorgensen.
Hans Jorgensen. Hans Jorgensen, to be fair, was just some random guy. He's a wild looking character. He's got friggin' Civil War mutton chops and
a little curly mustache. Yeah.
And his hairline, it's running away. Like they're doing a lot with the follicles on this character.
He doesn't not look like Stan Lee with like a nicer pair of glasses.
Not look like Stan Lee. is the thing. He doesn't look like Stanley, but he doesn't
No,
not look like
he doesn't
Stanley.
not look like Stanley. Anyway, Professor X is convinced because Spider-Man was investigating the disappearance of this guy that Spider-Man has kidnapped his friend. And so, even though the X-Men are kind of out of commission at this point, he sends the X-Men to go try and stop Spider-Man. And wouldn't you know it, Spider-Man kicks their butts pretty easily.
Spider-Man does kick their butt pretty easily. They fight. There's a weird poster that says Doc Savage is coming in the background. I assume Marvel was doing a Doc Savage comic at the time.
Must be. I noticed that myself. It seemed like a little bit of in-house advertising.
I'll tell you one thing I find interesting about the X-Men's portrayal in this. They're all wearing street clothes.
Yeah, we're not wearing costumes to the point where Angel is just flying around shirtless.
Look, it's not his worst. It's not his worst costume. In fact,
Just throw that guy in some khakis. That's
it's
fine.
better than the costume he was wearing immediately preceding this.
Angel's costume will actually be very important in our next story, so we should just hold that for just a second.
I am holding space for Angel's costume.
But they do manage to subdue. Well, not really subdue Spider-Man. Spider-Man is sick, so they bring him back to the X.
That's why he thinks he's going to grow extra. Hold on. People on our podcast might know that Spider-Man first met Morbius when Spider-Man grew the extra arms and thought he was turning into a man spider.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Morb did to him.
Yeah. So Professor X, of course, when they bring Spider-Man back, does what any ethical telepath does and reads Spider-Man's mind. Only superficially. He doesn't find out about his secret identity or anything, hopefully, but he somehow just deduces that he's not the kidnapper and that Morbius is. And so while Spidey is knocked out, the X-Men have to go get Morbs.
They go fight Morbius. That's what happens. They fight Morbius. It's just, did Sony read a single Morbius comic before greenlighting and spending millions on a movie about Morbius, the living vampire?
I think they just had a convo with Jared Leto and were like, "Hey, Jared, what do you want to do?" And he's like, "I'm a vampire." And you're just like, okay.
I don't understand Morbius. There's a lot of Marvel characters who are dumb that I like. I've never understood Morbius. Not even, especially not when I was a kid and he had the weird hand suckers to get plasma from the cartoon.
Yeah. He does not have those here. I was looking for them, but
no, that was only in the cartoon because. So you know why Morbius exists, right? It was a comics code thing. He's not a real vampire.
Yeah, he's not a real vampire. He does not. Yeah.
So he can't do that. But when they tried to bring him into Spider-Man the animated series, him being not a real vampire was too far. So they had to make it so that he didn't bite people or do any vampire things. Mm-hmm. So they gave him hands where he craved his plasma. Anyway, they fight Morbius and
and they get Spidey back to well, they save the scientist saves Spidey, and then Spidey rewards everybody by planting a kiss on Jean Grey, and it's awkward and weird.
It's really weird. Spider-Man wakes up. This is sometimes we exaggerate things on this show. I want to tell you, we are not. This is the second to last page. There's 3 panels. Spider-Man wakes up. He sees Morbius. They explain what's going on. He's like, "Oh man, am I not sick anymore?" Page turn. Hans Jorgensen explains, blah, 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 blah. Charles hadn't lent me his equipment. Looks like Spider-Man owes him his life. And then Angel says, "Not him, Spider-Man, her." "Sure, without Jean, well, heck, true. If she hadn't found me, I would have never performed the necessary computations in time." That's Hans Jorgensen, by the way.
Good impression.
And then Professor X says, "Apparently the accolade is universal. Jean, I think." Stop. Next panel. Spider-Man jumps up, says, "Don't, Professor. After all, I can't really thank any of you guys." Next panel. Rips his mask off, grabs Jean by the back of the head, and kisses her hard style and says, "But as for the Lady Jean, I can thank her." Next panel, in that panel,
The
Professor X,
Xavier reaction is hilarious in that panel.
appropriate, because Charles Xavier's like, "What in the world is happening here?"
He's appalled.
Next panel, Spider-Man jumps out a window. It's like, now that's done, I gotta be saying goodbye. Because not only am I slightly antisocial, but it's already hours past my bedtime.
And they just leave Morbius there with them.
Everyone's just looking like, what in the world? What just happened? We don't know this guy. They've met Spider-Man like once before this.
Yeah. I hate that Jean is like smiling in the last panel because this is like
this is a comic from 1972.
I know, but
But
I had forgotten that this was the issue where he plants a smooch.
Literally the only thing I knew about this issue. I forgot all the Morbius stuff. I knew. Oh yeah, this is the issue that ends because the first time he meets the X-Men, it's Spider-Man talking about his sticky situation that he gets in with the X-Men, and it is one of the most out of context panels that you can do.
So I don't really know that Marvel Team Up number 4 is really putting the X-Men back on the map. Like
I would say no.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Marvel Team Up, like, they start with 3 issues of the Human Torch. That's not a small character. Human Torch had his own like solo team-up-y book before Spider-Man did. Like, that's a big character to launch with.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go with and the X-Men. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's Vision, who they're trying to get over. We'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. The Thing, Thor, the Cat, which is Hellcat, which again, they're trying to make her a going concern. Iron Man, the Human Torch again, the Inhumans again. Like they are trying, but it's very clear that the X-Men are on the level of the Inhumans in 1972 and 1973. And there's that's unfortunate for the X-Men fans out there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this one is too successful.
I would call it bad.
We should try and rank it on our big old list.
That's the thing about our list, Adam, is that we've been ranking every X-Men story and stories where the X-Men weren't being published, but I guess they appear in, from best to worst. We have ranked 1,137 bespoke X-Men titles, events, arcs, stories. The best being the House of X Powers of 10. The 550th best being Marvel Voices Pride #1. The 1,100th best being Extreme X-Men Storm the Arena. And the worst X-Men comic of all time is 2099 World of Tomorrow. Adam, we have done team-ups before.
We have at 623, we have Marvel Team Up number 89, where Spider-Man teams up with Nightcrawler. I think we like that one pretty well. And
747
is Havoc and Thor.
That one's better than this.
I think that's better. At 812, we have Super Villain Team Up, which is Doom versus Magneto. I also like that one better.
That one's better.
Yeah. Now, at 842, we have Robert Kirkman doing Marvel Team Up Volume 3, number 19, which is a Cable Wolverine story. I think this might be better than that.
I don't think so. Because right below that, at 845, is Spider-Man Team Up #1, which is that Spider-Man X-Men story about Shinobi Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, you're hearing me. So I do think this is the lowest ranked team-up story that we have done thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just kind of like a nothing story. There's just not a lot happening here, unfortunately. So,
I would be mad if I spent the dollars on this comic.
Yeah.
Like, at $8.95, we have Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is better than this.
Beauty and the Beast is definitely trying more than this comic is. I think Star Trek X-Men at 905 is probably more interesting.
Rise of Apocalypse is more interesting than this at 927. And I don't like Rise of Apocalypse.
I mean, it's probably better than that time Kitty robbed a bank in Axis, 936. How about this? Down at 944, we have the 2 issues of Avengers where
those Avengers issues are better. Those where Beast joins.
Okay. Yeah.
Those, speaking of 70s, those are better. Like in my mind, this is like, I don't know. I'm looking through some of this. It's tough. Is this better or worse than Days of Future Past Doomsday? The Googs comic, the insane Googs comic.
I mean, I don't think this is as bad as like at 968 X-Men Noir. But I don't know. I mean, you seem to really not like this one.
I really don't like this one.
I mean,
hold on. What's Incredible Hulk 161?
Is that first Peter Corbeau?
No, that's when Hulk fights the Beast. Yeah, see, that's the Mimic story. That Mimic story from the 70s with Mimic being in the cave.
Yeah,
that's better than this.
That is better. So is X-Men 40 Frankenstein.
I just have to start throwing comics that I know you're gonna be like, actually, yeah. Like, okay.
It's not as bad as X-Men Hidden Years 6 and 7 and 978, though, is it?
I'll concede that. But it's not as good as New Mutants 75, which is flawed in so many different ways, but also I think is better.
All right, so this is 978 Marvel Team Up number 4, Spider-Man and the X-Men. Zach, I'm so sorry I stole your thunder before you started talking about.
No, we had a whole conversation about it, Adam, and then I loaded up the wrong comic on my tablet that I use to drive my thoughts on the show, and I loaded up Avengers 110 and 111, and now Magneto. It opens up with Magneto saying, "I did it! I, Magneto, have destroyed the X-Men, and the Avengers are next." Folks, if you want a nice nuanced portrayal of Magneto, you gotta wait 7 years.
Well, I want to talk about that when we get to our next story, but I do think it's worth noting this is the 2 issues of Magneto before the Defenders arc where he gets turned into a baby.
Okay, so this is pre-baby.
Yep.
But okay, I was trying to remember Magneto baby-based chronology.
He has not been turned into a baby yet.
Well, speaking of babies, his babies, the Scarlet Witch and the Quicksilver, which are they his kids at this time? I don't think so.
Oof, I'm not sure.
When were they the Wizards kids?
Oh, I don't know. That's a thin window.
So this is definitely pre them being Magneto's kids. This is pre them being the Wizards kids. They're just some people right now. They're people who worked for Magneto once.
Right. They were brainwashed and now they are free.
I mean, they weren't super brainwashed at that time. They were more like, hey, there's a mob trying to kill us. You don't want the mob to kill us? Great. We're on your team.
So
I read X-Men number 4 a lot as a child. I know that page.
Often reprinted. These 2 issues are written by Steve Englehart and penciled by Don Heck, with inks by Frank Giacoa. I believe 110 might have, it's credited on the wiki as having some John Buscema in it, but I don't know about that. Now, for true completers, there is an issue of Daredevil that does take place between these 2 issues. We're not going to cover that because it's mainly about Hawkeye, but it does explain
less about Daredevil pre-1980s.
But it does explain why Daredevil is in issue 111
and why Black Widow's there, because they were dating at the time, and Hawkeye's mad because he used to date Black Widow, and now look, incel Hawkeye again. I don't care about Hawkeye before 2011. I don't care about Daredevil before the 1980s. So
there's some good Daredevil stuff in the original run, man. There's some fun stuff.
Is there?
Yeah, man. Stiltman, come on.
Much love for Stiltman. we all have a lot of love in our hearts for Stiltman, but look,
Daredevil, Black Widow, solid.
I'm not going to. You can't make me. I haven't even read all of Amazing Spider-Man. I know that's pretty good for at least 100 issues.
Well, let's stick with Avengers. In Avengers 109, Quicksilver ran into a wall, or somewhere. I guess no. Avengers 104, Quicksilver ran into a wall.
Quicksilver has run into a wall at one point.
He did run into a wall, and he's been nursed back to health by Crystal of the Inhumans. They're now in love. They're going to get married.
What's really funny is that they're like, wait, weren't you just dating the Human Torch?
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You're marrying Quicksilver now? Great.
And Wanda's like, hey, I got great news too. I'm in love with a robot. And Quicksilver's like, over my dead body.
Hear me out.
Hear me
out. Hear me out. I understand that even an android can cry, and that the Vision does have feelings. But Adam, you're telling me, because now this is not science fiction anymore. This is science fact. We have incels who have ChatGPT or Claude or whatever stupid large language model girlfriends out there. Some of which
I
have
knew you were
committed
going to take
murders.
this here. Yeah.
It is so hard for me not to be. Quicksilver's 100% right in everything she's saying. That is a toaster over there that you are in love with, Wanda. That is a Hitachi wand that can change its density. And you can't marry. That's insane. Do you hear yourself, Wanda? Do you hear yourself? They already hate you for a lot of other reasons.
It's so funny because
He's so racist about it, though.
Yeah. This issue of Wanda and Vision really comes to the forefront in a comic that Anna and I just bought, like an actual back issue of, which is 113, which is when like there's these like Nazis that aren't really Nazis on the page that are like suicide bombers that are essentially like going to try and kill the Vision, and the cover of that issue
He's a robot.
he
Can't die.
It's so funny. The cover is Wanda like shaking her fist at the sky over Vision's like limp body, and it says, she's saying, "You killed him. You killed the man I love, and I'm gonna make you pay." It's such a great cover.
Your young man shall slay visions. That's nothing. Marvel Comics in the 70s.
It's great. I love how all of these have like word bubbles on the cover. You know, Magneto bragging about how I did it. I, Magneto, have destroyed the X-Men and the Avengers are next.
I don't think it actually makes for the objective side of me says that's bad. Actually, the part of me that loves stupid things is like, this is what comics is.
Yeah. And
it's so dumb.
Yeah. Now the story here is equally, I would say, dumb and a lot of fun, because the Avengers are given a psychic projection from Charles Xavier, or excuse me, the event. Did I say the Avengers or the X-Men?
You said the Avengers. You're good.
Yeah, the Avengers are given a psychic projection by Charles Xavier that like somebody has come and laid waste to the mansion and knocked them all out. So the Avengers are like, all right, let's go check it out.
Let's give a roster rundown real quick, because the Avengers can be so many things.
Yeah.
The Avengers at this moment are honestly like a pretty solid
great
team.
roster.
It's Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, and Vision, with Hawkeye and Black Widow and guest star Daredevil joining for the next issue.
Hard to beat. That's pretty good.
I don't
Pretty
even
classic.
like Avengers, but that's like, yeah, you're giving me the good characters. There is nary a Tigra in sight.
So the Avengers get to the mansion and are like already kind of being attacked by metal objects. You know, like, okay, well, I saw the cover of this comic. I know what's going on, but they're also running into the like unconscious bodies of the X-Men, are like, all right, well, let's pick these guys up and take them home. You know, at least we can rehabilitate them, whatever. And as they're doing it, it's like, you're not exactly sure who they're picking up, but one of the people they pick up is Angel. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. Angel's not there right now, I didn't think. And Magneto's like, ha ha ha, I dressed up as Angel and I got on your ship.
Wait, no, first.
Wait.
We have to talk about the greatest part.
Yeah, the page turn that is like worth the price of admission here.
They don't know what's happening.
No.
And then they're like, man, this is so weird. Wanda's like, it has to be Magneto. And Black Panther's like, we saw no sign of Magneto. You don't like this guy. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Despite
Thor
the metal.
Immediately, hark! Do mine ears deceive me? Sounds like music from a flute, says Captain America. Turn the page, full page splash, dinosaurs coming at you from the right side of the page into the page turn. It is truly a spectacular page.
It is so funny because
it's like, let's go, dinos.
You are not ready for these dinosaurs. They just show up and you're like, what is going on? And then immediately the Avengers are fighting dinosaurs.
Turns out the dinosaurs were sent by Piper from the Savage Land Mutates. We know about Piper.
Yeah. I want to
He's a
note
Pied Piper.
that
Really is.
Vision does kill one of these, the Triceratops.
A magnificent creature.
He straight up goes solid. He goes, intangible and then goes solid inside the Triceratops. It's not as gory as when Multiple Man does this later on in X Factor, but
Yeah, with Spore.
it's still pretty messed up. That's not a
It's-
cool thing to do, Vision.
That's a noble creature. You do that to a T-Rex, we say, well, we understand. A Triceratops? Vision, buddy, there's a reason I don't like you.
So yeah, like I said, Magneto dressed up as Angel. Now he's going to steal the Avengers ship.
Magneto
and-
dressed up as Angel is a very funny looking design, by the way, because it's got his weird hair.
Yeah. So he's now going to take the X-Men and the Avengers, who he's yelling at the top of his lungs on the ship. 2 groups of heroes in one day. Magneto has bested them all. Because as we're going to find out in Avengers 111, magnets make you capable of mind control, apparently.
Yeah, well, after you get yoga powers.
Yeah.
And I know Magneto has also had, astral projection with magnets before.
Sure.
Anyway, Magneto... Sorry, it's so stupid.
It's really fun, though.
Magneto is like, actually, I can manipulate the iron in your bloodstream to do bad things. Magneto then goes to the White House.
Yep.
And takes over all of the White House people. There's someone who may be a political figure. We'll never know if this is a caricature because I'm not checking what was going on in 1973.
Can I just say my favorite line of dialogue from this issue?
Is it the one I think it's going to be?
Well, I don't know, but when the Avengers, as Magneto's mind-controlled puppets show up, there's a bunch of politicians sitting around a table, and the table proceeds to crack in half, and someone says, "The oaken table is ripping itself apart."
That's very good. Mine was also from a politician. It was Magneto walking into the White House and this guy tell me what I want to know. And this guy saying, pal, I don't care if you're Henry Kissinger in disguise. We'll never betray our trust. Fools! Do you think this is a debate? You will talk because I'll take over your minds. This is Magneto, the very nuanced, deep character that we all love and cherish and have gone 180 degrees around and say, well, we can't root against him.
Yeah.
We can't root for him, but we can't root against him or his mind slaves.
No. And what's great about this is that Magneto escapes on this this little spaceship that he's flying around in. And the Avengers are like, well, how are we supposed to find this guy? And the answer is dinosaurs. Let's go back to where those dinosaurs came from. Where did they come from? And it turns out that's where Magneto's underground lair was.
Much like Osama bin Laden.
Sure.
No, I'm sorry. Much like Saddam Hussein. He had an underground bunker. Wait, which one had it was Hussein that had the underground.
I believe so.
The meme thing. Osama bin Laden, we know about Osama bin Laden's weird porn house that he
had a house.
Sixth in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
know about that.
Well, Magneto has this cave and he's got, all these zombie-fied people, including the X-Men, just standing around. And, the Vision, Triceratops killer, does manage to save the day by somehow controlling Piper, and knocking Magneto out.
He was just dense enough to control all of Piper's brain movements, but not dense enough to explode him from the inside out. Again,
yeah, sure.
Feels like you could have done that to the magnificent Triceratops Vision.
Right? Calm the Triceratops down. Don't kill the Triceratops. He didn't kill Piper.
He didn't kill Piper. The X-Men are like, thanks for unmind controlling us. We should probably go find Angel. I don't know where he's at, actually. That's when the Angel miniseries, or the couple of issues about Angel and his uncle, the Dazzler, but not that one, show up,
Yeah. It
and the
just
Avengers
says,
like, okay,
yeah, it just says, you called it, Professor, as we shall see in the near future. Whatever that
that's when you
means.
need to plug. You need to figure out what issue. You need to make a decision before you do this story about what issues that's going to be published.
Yeah, go read whatever.
Here's the only X-Men related comment I'll make about this.
Yeah.
Jean's wearing her dress, but it looks way better like without the gloves.
Doesn't it have like no sleeves too?
Yeah, it's just
like
sleeveless. It's the sleeveless version of her green dress. It looks
Yeah.
great.
I don't know. They're still
Her
in
mask
those
is a little
costumes.
weird.
They're not as they were in our last issue in their street clothes. So that means for whatever reason they were just hanging out fully uniformed in the X Mansion, even
For whatever
though
reason, they have a danger room.
they don't need to get dressed up for that, do they?
Yes, they do. Adam. They wear clothes in the danger. That's a full training simulation.
I'm just saying
You
they don't
practice
have
like you
to.
play.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
practice like you play.
I'm going to say this. I enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed it a lot more than what we were just talking about.
I enjoyed it more than we were talking about. Did it make me want to read Avengers 112? No.
It didn't not make me want to, because I do think that Englehart's Avengers really does capture like a period of this book that I could actually kind of enjoy, because there's so much soap opera-y silliness and like, oh, this person's in love with this person and this person, and like it's really, really emotional.
I'm just in full hater mode this episode. I'm sorry. I'm talking about all these things that I don't like. Friggin' Speedball is caught strays in this. Like, come on.
So at 698, we have Avengers 102 to 104, which is the arc where Quicksilver did run into the wall.
That's right. That's where
they fought the Sentinels who came back from the sun or something like that. I remember.
What's better? That one's better.
Yeah,
that one rules. That one rules, actually.
Yeah. But this is better than Blood Ties at 769.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue about Blood Ties. This is better than Avengers World number 9.
Okay, that's
which is a Cannonball and Sunspot story. Is this better than?
I like this better than the first 5 issues of Extraordinary X-Men at 706.
Okay, I will concede that point. This is not better than. Is this better than Dazzler's jail thing where she did a jail fight club?
Ooh, no.
Let's put it above Regenesis then, and below that.
All right, so this is our new 703. This is Avengers 110 and 111.
I just hate AI so much that I do hate the Vision now. I'm going to be honest. Do you know who?
It's tricky.
Do you know who else would have hated AI?
Who?
The one, the only, Jack the King Kirby.
Oh, I'm sure.
Jack the King Kirby would have tried to fight AI. He wouldn't have been successful at it because it's not you can't punch it. But Jack Kirby would have wanted to fight AI. And for 50 cents, you can get all of Jack Kirby's double-length action of Captain America King Size Annual number 4.
I am so glad we're covering this, because I started reading this and saying to myself, we have to have covered this before.
Nope.
I know this comic book. Nope. We have never covered it before. I do think it's really important to contextualize when this comes out, because when we set up this episode, I was like, oh yeah, that's before Giant Size. It's actually not.
It's 1977.
It is, which means that Claremont has already. All right, so Baby Magneto has happened, and then
Magneto has happened.
Claremont has already brought him back in the pages of X-Men 104 and 107.
Yes, in 104, which was earlier that year.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in January. This comic comes out in May. Is when Magneto's like, actually, I'm still alive and I'm going to fight you guys in my volcano base. And here's the thing. The Magneto in Avengers is of a piece with the Magneto in early Claremont's X-Men, is of a piece with this Magneto. It is just through the lens of Chris Claremont, who will make every character say a lot of words. And then also through the lens of Jack Kirby, who will find their most extreme anything and turn it to 12.
So I just think it's interesting, because it's like, It's still Silver Age Magneto. We're not quite at the period of time when Magneto sort of gets rehabilitated and is
Becomes
like
a good character.
and becomes an actual character, right? That said, Captain America Annual number 4 is a hoot.
Can we talk about this cover? Like,
yeah, Magneto's floating head as his new Brotherhood attacks Captain America with Kirby crackle all around it. It's freaking awesome.
Look, there comes a time in a lot of people's life where they're like, actually, this is dumb comic stuff. And then you go back to Jack Kirby after consuming 1 million comics, and you're like, actually, Jack Kirby knew more about comics than anyone, and we were fools to ever as a society think otherwise. Like, I know it's like, oh, look at these guys glazing Jack Kirby. Well, sorry, some dudes deserve to be glazed.
So for folks who've never read this is a classic story for a very specific reason, Zach, because this introduces a mutant or mutants or mutant. There is an answer to that before we get to the end of this issue, but this is Mr. 1 and Mr. 2.
Yes, we all love Mr. 1 and Mr. 2. Mr. 1.
Tell people about Mr. 1 and Mr. 2 if they have never heard of this character.
Mr. 1 cannot speak. He cannot move. He is the world's tiniest man in a spaceship.
He fits in a wristwatch.
Mr. 2 is so small. Or Mr. 1 is so small. He's the smallest boy.
He just sits there with his eyes bugging out and his little wimpy arms, and he has a little tiny pair of shorts and boots on. I love
when
it.
Magneto sees Mr. 1, his immediate reaction is, his size, it's perfect, just for my purposes.
We don't know what those are.
Never explained what.
No. There is an explanation.
It's not good.
No, but it's stupid, but it's funny.
Oh, I love it.
Whereas Mr. 2 is
a big guy. He's a big guy.
Giant.
Does not talk or cannot think, or he doesn't have a mind of his own. He's like big, dumb, angry man.
Yeah.
And anyway, they're symbiotically connected, so they're the same brain.
They are the same person. So
Mr. 2 shows up on panel immediately behind Magneto and then crunches his helmet into him as if to squeeze the life out of Magneto. An insane opening.
And then throws
so
him through a
looking.
wall.
Oh my gosh.
It's great. And Magneto's like, that sucked. I'll be back, I guess.
We have to start because we are missing what I think is the most insane thing about, quote, this issue, The Great Mutant Massacre.
Right. That is the title of the issue.
Adam, would you like to tell our listeners how Captain America, who is the star of this issue, and Magneto learn about Mr. 1?
Well,
and how they get on this journey.
Yeah, well, first of all, this issue does open with them fighting each other, and a great 2-page spread of Magneto, like magnetically throwing something. Is it a desk? I don't know.
Look, man, but Jack Kirby's vibes, and you know that.
Yeah, but here's the important part: is that Mr. 1 and Mr. 2's roommate, who's just a dude who wears Mr. 1 inside of his wristwatch, took a want ad out in the paper that both Captain America and Magneto saw. That's basically like, hey, I've got this roommate and I don't know what to do with him. He's a mutant. Can somebody help me, please? And it's just this guy. Just a guy.
Don't let anyone tell you comics are hard, because Jack Kirby, in 2 pages of this comic, gets you everything you need. They answer a want ad. You don't have to make it deep. They just have to be at the place. Don't show us the boring part about them getting to the place. Open up with the coolest fight you've ever seen. Number 2, don't say Steve Rogers never did nothing for no mutants. Steve Rogers reading the paper, going out of his way, be like, oh, there's a mutant that needs help. I'll go help him. I'm Steve Rogers. I don't work as a character if I'm anything but the best guy. If I am bad, then I no longer work as a character. So Steve Rogers, I must be good. Therefore, I must take care of this mutant since it's in my book.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when Captain America does take Mr. 1 and Mr. 2, he brings them back to S.H.I.E.L.D., who then starts to experiment on them.
That's okay. So Steve
That's not
Rogers,
good.
very trusting of the government, does immediately be like, hey, found this wrist guy. Would you guys want to do something with him? Magneto. Well, here's the thing about Mr. 1. Immediately, he starts yelling through I don't know, whatever he can use to communicate. It comes up on a screen saying, I don't want visitors. I need recreation. I want to get out of here. Steve Rogers is like, fascinating. What is going on with this quite small man? Obviously, he's speaking English and he's in incredible distress.
You know what's great about this?
Every last bit of it.
Well, like right after that, Mr. 2 breaks through the wall, right? Because they've had him in a I don't know, they're studying
In a
him or
thing,
something.
yeah.
And it's like all he wants to do is go for a jog. Like, and Captain America's like, yeah, I'll go for a jog. I like to run. Let's go for a jog. Meanwhile, Magneto is hanging out with the New Brotherhood, including a very important character who we all know and love. Zach, who are the New Brotherhood?
So the New Brotherhood are Burner, who is a fire guy.
Mm-hmm.
Slither, who is a snake guy.
Yep.
Shocker, who's a shocking guy. Lifter, who's a lifting guy. And Peeper,
Peepers.
who's a seeing guy. Again, comics aren't hard. Hey, the thing about this issue that I love is that, do you know who else loves this issue?
I'm assuming a lot of people, including Al Ewing.
I was just going to say Alistair Ewing, who not only brings in Peeper for Sword, in some of the dumbest, best stuff that's ever existed. Actually, I just said that out loud. Al Ewing's Shield would be a good book, but I digress.
Sure.
Yeah, you're hearing it now, and you're like, actually, no, that would roll. But also, you know that Al Ewing decided that he wanted to make something canon about Mr. 1, Mr. 2, and did make them actually Shi'ar prototypes of the War Star Subguardian.
I did not know that until someone pointed it out to me on Blue Sky. So
yeah,
but yes, in a conversation with Nova, he's a prototype War Star, right?
Yeah, you got to read. But if you haven't read, I gave Guardians of the Galaxy crap. If you haven't read Al Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy, that's the last time Marvel did it good. And that was great. That's the comic where they were like, yes. And Peter Quill is bisexually in love with both Gamora and Nova, and we're not going to make a big deal out of it.
Sounds good to me.
And then never got brought up again.
No. So the Future Brotherhood.
This good.
I said the Future Brotherhood. This version of the Brotherhood attacks Mr. 2 and Captain America on their jog. But it turns out that Magneto just wants Mr. 1 because he's found maybe it's Mr. 1's spaceship. I don't know. It's a spaceship. It is a tiny football-sized spaceship. And he's like, the only person that's going to be able to get in here is Mr. 1. And he loads up Mr. 1 inside this thing. And Mr. 1's like, man, I'm done. I'm done with this nonsense.
I'm going to go home now. I'm going away.
And he hits the self-destruct button, which is disappointing because Mr. 1 and Mr. 2 are a lot of fun, and I wish they had more adventures.
I don't, because it's in my mind, it's better that Jack Kirby makes them once, and he does everything you want from the world's tiniest man, including him opening up the box that he's keeping Mr. 1 in and saying, incredible, fantastic, I've got him at last. The smallest man in the world. Then threatens him with a candle.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's great. Magneto's great in this.
I love Magneto so much.
At one point, he uses his magnet powers to throw 3 swords at Cap that like go doing 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 around Cap's head. It's pretty great, and Cap's eyes are like ah.
No one besides the weirdest freaks will read this comic and be like, no, Jack Kirby, like this is what you have to read if you get Jack Kirby. But especially in the 70s, Jack Kirby was on another level.
He's having a lot of fun here. I had a lot of fun reading this. This is clearly the best of the 3 stories that we talked about today.
This is so good. This is so good because Magneto, just to be clear, Magneto lets off a bomb after Mr. One blows himself up. He's like, and I'm escaping now. And Cap just walks away. And he's like, man, that was a weird day I had. I bet that Magneto guy's going to give me more problems in the future.
Yeah.
Dad walked away. That's all you got to do. Such good comics. Ugh. Jack Kirby's so good. I wish his X-Men was better because we don't get a chance to talk. You know what? We should go through just for one episode and be like, let's do the good Jack Kirby X-Men comics.
It's a good theme. We should put
I'm
that
trying to think of more than one, but we should do that one at least.
Now we have quite a few annuals on this list, Zach. I am really curious, quality-wise, where you want to put this.
Let's see. Here's what I'll say. At number 200 is All New Wolverine 4 Sisters. Brother, this is better than 4 Sisters.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I really enjoyed this. This is a lot of fun. So
I think this is this better or worse than Resurrection of Magneto? You're going to say it's worse than Resurrection of Magneto by Al Ewing. Yes.
Yeah. That's
at 150.
Oh yeah. I'm looking up the list.
Okay, hold on. I've got another dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Wolverine, 38 to 43, 45, and 46, the Albert and LCD stuff.
No, that's better.
I think it's better because there's more of it, and also I think that includes the part where they meet Ernest Hemingway, and Jack Kirby did not have them meet one
Ernest
of the
Hemingway is not in that arc. I have told you this before. Those are 2 separate arcs.
He's in the arc right before it.
Yes.
I just feel like they should meet Ernest Hemingway more.
Here's what I'm going to ask you. At 181 is a book that you often use as a ceiling. Yep. And that is Captain America 367 from Acts of Vengeance.
That's the one where Magneto throws the Red Skull into a hole.
That's better than this, right? Or is it?
So that's a hard one for me. And
I know. That's why I threw it at you.
This is the duality of man. I do believe that as a story, it is hard to beat Red Skull with a big ol' stogie being like, hey, we're doing Acts of Vengeance now, Magneto. You can be on my team. And Magneto saying the devil with that Nazi scum, and then spending the whole issue chasing him around so that he can throw him into a hole. That said, Jack Kirby's a better artist than Kieran Dwyer.
That is true. The art is definitely better in this Cap annual. So
I would. I would put it above that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Above that is Uncanny X-Men Acts of Vengeance. You know,
like
historically. Then above that is your beloved Exterminators.
Exterminators Volume 1.
Yep. Man, the list is just killing you here, isn't it?
This is the hardest I've had to think. Adam.
Yes.
Adam, okay, hold on.
Oh, I love this.
I think that I don't think this is as good as 174, the X-Men in Life Lessons. That is the John Paul Leon burn victim comic.
I remember. Great art.
Rules.
Yeah. Really good one.
I think that's my ceiling. But is this better than the Nasty Boys stuff from 90s X Factor?
I don't know, man. That Larry Stroman stuff is awesome, but
but Larry Stroman owes me $40.
Sure,
Larry Stroman.
Yeah. We can hold that against him. I'm fine with slotting this.
We've edited all the other times I've said that out on the podcast. We're leaving it this time.
I don't know that I have.
I've self-edited myself from naming Larry Stroman for owing me $40, but Larry Stroman legit owes me $40, and I'm not happy about it.
So should I edit it out this time?
No. It's been long enough. The world needs to know.
Great. So I'm fine with just putting this at 175.
Above War of Kings and above Necrosha, yes. Okay, let's do it. My conscience feels really good about that one. It's just
it's a great issue. It's
this
just
is
a
the kind
lot
of comic that
fun.
made me want to sit down and read 100 Jack Kirby comics.
Yeah. I mean, it's proof positive that guy is cooking. He's just doing amazing stuff.
Ain't no one been doing it like him before or after.
Nope. Not quite.
And luckily, no one's been doing this podcast like us before.
Aw.
Or after. Some call us the Jack Kirby of mid-tier X-Men podcasts.
I'm not sure anyone said that. I think we're top tier. Thank you.
Well, hold on. Jay and Miles are retiring soon, so that number 2 spot.
Just saying.
It's
up for
grabs.
gonna be. Our numbers are good.
Our numbers aren't bad. We're going to be comfortably back in number 2.
I'm sure Jay and Miles
in
reruns will still do better than our show for a while.
I'll give it time.
Sure.
Much love to Jay and Miles. So thrilled for them for going out on their own terms, taking the time to do it, and covering some dope stuff beforehand, including I believe they talked about this issue quite recently.
Really good. Passing. Yeah, really good Magneto focused episode recently with Asher Albine. If you didn't listen to that one, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, folks, maybe you fell off in the 90s because Lord knows they were doing Yauman's work through that. Go check that one out. It's really good.
Yeah. Who do we have to thank again for this particular episode, Zach?
In a spiritual sense, absolutely Jay and Miles for helping inspire this show and teaching a bunch of people that they can podcast about the X-Men, even if they shouldn't. That includes us sometimes.
Sometimes we shouldn't.
Sometimes we shouldn't. But no, it's Patreon supporter in a more direct way. Patreon supporter Brendan McVeigh. If you want to be like Brendan, you can go over to patreon.com/BattleTheAtom, reach deep down, hearts, pocketbooks, coins, coffers, do all of that great work, and have us talk about some silly, fun, good things. That's what we want. I just in this era of the show, when we're well into the thousands, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Man, I don't need to be a completionist.
Having a good time.
Oh, but it's a jolly adventure. Other jolly adventures do include whatever you've been up to, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that I did not have a jolly adventure reading X-Men United #1, despite being a big viewing fan. So if you want to check out my review of that, it's over on Comics XF. Other than that, I don't think anything else is going on. Adam Recco on Blue Sky and Instagram. And Zach, what do we got going on next week?
Oh, next week we are talking about, and I quote, gratuitous new costumes where the team gets a new fit because. Folks, these are the kind of suggestions we're looking for. Until then, this has been Battle of the Atom. We hope you survived the experience.
Get it!